Alright guys, today we're going to be walking through a SAT practice test that is in the digital format. We're going to be going through the math section. This test isn't adaptive. This is a sample test released by the College Board to show us what math questions on the digital SAT might look like. And today we'll be going through the first module. So let's get started. And by the way, calculators can be used in this module. First question, what's 10% of 470? That's 470 divided by 10, 47. Alright, next question. 4x plus 6 equals 18. Which equation has the same solution as the given equation? All the left-hand side terms are 4x. So we just subtract 6 from both sides to get 4x equals 12. Voila, look what matches. Next question. The total cost in dollars to rent a surfboard consists of a $25 service fee and a $10 per hour rental fee. A person rents a surfboard for T hours and intends to spend a maximum of $75 to rent the surfboard. Which inequality represents this situation? So it's a $10 per hour rental fee. So 10T plus 25. That's our total cost because we have an initial $25 service fee. That's that. And then $10 per hour. $10 per T for T hours. Okay. And then this has to be less than or equal to 75. That answer choice. That's D. Alright, let's move on. Number 4. The function g is defined by g of x equals x squared plus 9, for which value of x is g of x 25. Okay, so we have 25 equals x squared plus 9. Subtract 9. Right, 16 equals x squared, so plus or minus 4 equals x. We only have 4 here, so that has to be the answer. Alright. Number 5. Each face of a fair 14-sided die is labeled with the number 1 through 14, with a different number appearing on each face. If the die is rolled one time, what's the probability of rolling a 2? Well, you have 14 different numbers you can roll. 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 14. And the probability of rolling a 2 when you roll the die one time, that's one successful atom out of 14 possible. Answer choice A. Let's move on. Number 6. Okay, so this one is open-ended. We need to put it in your answer. A printer produces posters at a constant rate of 42 posters per minute. So 42 per minute. At what rate in posters per hour does the printer produce the posters? So we have 42 posters for 1 minute times 60 minutes in an hour. Alright, the minutes cancel, so that's 42 times 60. What is that? 42 times 60. That's 2,520 posters per hour. Next question. The function f is defined by the equation f of x equals 7x plus 2. What's the value of f of x when x equals 4? So f of 4 equals 7 times 4 plus 2. That's 28 plus 2. That's 30. Next question. A teacher is creating an assignment worth 70 points. Okay. The assignment will consist of questions worth 1 point and questions worth 3 points. So we have 1 point questions and 3 point questions. Which equation represents the situation where x represents the number of 1 point questions and y represents the number of 3 point questions? Well, we have how many? X 1 point questions. So x times 1, because each question is worth 1 point, plus 3 times y. So x plus 3y, 70. That's D. Number 9. Right triangles LMN and PQR are similar, where L and M correspond to P and Q, respectively. Angle M has a measure of 53 degrees. What's the measure of angle Q? Well, similar triangles have the same angle measures. So if L corresponds to P and M corresponds to Q, angle M will be equal to angle Q. So they're 50 degrees. Next question. Alright, number 10. Y equals negative 3x. 4x plus y equals 15. The solution to the given systems of equations is x comma y. What's the value of x? Okay. So we can substitute 4x plus negative 3x equals 15. X equals 15. Alright, next question. Which of the following equations is the most appropriate linear model for the data shown in the scatter plot? Well, the y-intercept's obviously positive, so it's not A or C. And this line has a negative slope. This is not D. It's B. Alright, next question. Number 12. The graph of y equals f of x is shown where the function f is defined by f of x equals ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d. And a, b, c, and d are constants for how many values of x does f of x equal 0? So we're just looking for the zeros of the function, or x-intercepts. Right? We can look at the graph they give us. The graph intersects the x-axis 1, 2, 3 times. So we have 3 zeros. So let's see. Alright, number 13. Vivian bought party hats and cupcakes for $71. Each package of party hats cost $3 and each cupcake cost $1. If Vivian bought 10 packages of party hats, how many cupcakes did she buy? Okay, so we know she bought 10 packages of party hats. So that's 3 times 10. And plus, each cupcake cost $1, and we bought, let's say, X cupcakes, and that total cost is $71. So if we subtract 30 from both sides, we can get X is 41. So she bought 41 cupcakes. Alright, number 14. Z squared plus 10z minus 24 equals 0. What is one of the solutions to the given equation? So to factor this, we're looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 24 but add to 10. Those numbers are 12 and negative 2. So our equation will be x minus 12. Not x. Z minus z plus 12. And then z minus 2. Right. So I can pick either negative 12 or 2 as a 0. I'm going to go with 2 because it's the positive one. Next question. Bacteria are growing in a liquid growth medium. There were 300,000 cells per milliliter during an initial observation. The number of cells per milliliter doubles every 3 hours. How many cells per milliliter will there be 15 hours after the initial observations? So we can write an exponential function for this. We have 300,000 initially. We know that they double every 3 hours. So our base will be 2, and our exponent will put it time t in hours divided by 3, because it doubles every 3 hours. So if we plug in t equals 15, we get 300,000 times 2 to the 15 divided by 3. That's 300,000 times 2 to the 5. So That's equal to 300,000 times 32. That's equal to 96. So that's equal to D. So 300,000 times 32. That's equal to 9,600,000. Alright, let's confirm that with the calculator. 300,000 times 32. Yep, that's 9,600,000. We move on. Number 16, which expression is equivalent to 6x to the 8th y squared plus 12x squared y squared? So clearly clearly all of this, we're looking for the factored form. So you just, 6x 8th y squared plus 12x squared y squared. All right, now let's work one by one. We have the coefficients 6 and 12. What's the GCF of those coefficients? Well, that's 6. Right, now we go to the x's. X to the 8th and x squared. What's the biggest we can pull out? From x to the 8th and x squared. We can pull out an x squared from both. And we have y squared and y squared. We can pull out a y squared. And then what we're left with. The 6 divided by 6 is 1. X to the 8th divided by x squared is x to the 6th. Y squared divided by y squared is 1. Okay, so we don't need to worry about that. Now we go here. Plus 12 divided by 6 is 2. X squared divided by x squared is 1. Y squared divided by y squared is also 1. So that's our factored form. And we have answer choice C right there. Alright, number 17. A neighborhood consists of a 2-hectare park and a 35-hectare residential area. The total number of trees in the neighborhood is 3,934. The equation 2x plus 35y equals 3,394 represents the situation. Which of the following is the best interpretation of x in this context? Alright. So we have the park. So the 2x represents the amount of trees. The 2x represents the amount of trees in the park. So x represents the average number of trees per hectare in the park. We're not talking about the residential area because we don't have the coefficient of 35. Right, so it's not B. We're not talking about the total number of trees. That's 3,934. That's equal to this big expression. We're not talking about this either. That's 35y, so it's A. Alright, 18. The graph shows the relationship between the number of shares of stock from company A, X, and the number of shares of stock from company B, Y. Let's see. What's the question? Which equation could be used to represent this relationship? Well, since we have our x-intercept and we have our y-intercept, so our x-intercept is 60, 0. Our y-intercept is 0, 40. So we can just look through each of these equations and see which one works when you plug in both points. Okay. So it's not A because the y-intercept doesn't match. For the same reason, it's not C. For B, when you do 8 times 60, you get 480. 12 times 0 is 0. So 40 plus 0 is 480. Okay, 8 times 0 is 0. 12 times 40 is 480. 0 plus 480 is 480. B looks right. 12 times 60 is bigger than 480, so it's not that. So we know it's B. Alright, next question. Number 19. Circle A has a radius of 3n and circle B has a radius of 129n, where n is a positive constant. The area of circle B is how many times the area of the circle? Okay, so circle A Circle A has an area of 3n squared pi. Circle B has a radius of 129n squared pi. Now B divided by A is equal to 129n squared pi divided by 3n squared pi. Pi's cancel, so we get 129n divided by 3n all squared. When we simplify that, and that ratio, let me bring this over here. That ratio is equal to 129 divided by 3 squared. That's equal to 43 squared. And the only option that makes sense from there is D. Let's check what 43 squared is. That's 1,849, so the answer is D. Let's move on. Oops. Number 20. The frequency table summarizes the 57 data values in a data set. What is the maximum value in the data set? Okay. It's just 14. That's our maximum data value. That's our highest data value. So 14. The measure of angle R is... Oh, no, wait, I skipped a question. Question 21. Let's go here. A circle in the xy plane has the diameter with endpoints 2, 4 and 2, 14, and the equation of this circle is x minus 2 all squared plus y minus 9 all squared equals r squared, where r is a positive constant. What's the value of r? Okay, so we know our circle center. Our circle center is 2, 9. Right? And we know the two endpoints. The two endpoints of this diameter are 2, 4 and 2, 14. So let me actually draw a line. So we got from here to here. So that's 2, 4 and that's 2, 14. Now their midpoint is 2 plus 2 divided by 2 times 14 plus 4 divided by 2. That's the formula for the midpoint. That's 2, 9. So their midpoint right here, that's 2, 9. So the radius in each direction is 5. R is our radius. So R is 5. Number 2. The measure of angle R is 2 pi over 3 radians. The measure of angle T is 5 pi over 12 radians greater than the measure of angle R. What's the measure of angle T in degrees? Okay, so T is equal to 2 pi over 3 plus 5 pi over 12. That's equal to 8 pi over 12 plus 5 pi over 12. That is equal to 13 pi over 12. Right. We have our angle in radians. Now to convert from angles to from radians to degrees, we multiply by 180 over pi. So the pi's cancel. 180 divided by 12 is 15. So our angle measurement is 13 times 15, which is 195. That's C. On to the next question. A certain town has an area of 4.36 square miles. What is the area in square yards of this town? And we get that 1 mile is equal to 1,760 square yards. So let's draw out 1 square mile. So this is 1 mile, and this is 1 mile, right? But this is also same as 1,760 yards, and this is also the same as 1,760 yards. So the area of this square in yards squared is 1,760 squared, which is, well, it's a big number. 3,097,600. Right. So 1 mile squared is equal to 3,097,600 yards squared. So 4.36 miles squared is equal to this number times 4, which is 4.36, my bad. 4.36, and that's equal to 13,505,536. That's D. Next question. For line H, the table shows 3 values of x and their corresponding values of y. Line K is the result of translating the line H down 5 units in the xy plane. What is the x-intercept of line K? Okay, so first we have to find line H. So line H, we can take these 2 points, 18, 130, and 23, 160. So our slope, M, is going to be 160 minus 130 over 23 minus 18. That's going to be 30 over 5. That's 6. So line H is going to be 6x plus something. So if we substitute x equals 18, we get 130 is equal to 6 times 18 plus our y-intercept. 130 is equal to 108 plus our y-intercept, and we get b is 22. So line H is 6x plus 22. Now line K is the result of translating line H down 5 units. So we're subtracting 5 from the y-intercept. So line K is equal to 6x plus 22 minus 5. And that's 6x plus 17. So that's line K. Now we just need to find the x-intercept of line K. So set the y value equal to 0. And we get that x is equal to negative 17 over 6. And that's D. Alright, number 25. In the xy plane, the graph of the equation y equals negative x squared plus 9x minus 100 intersects the line y equals c at exactly 1 point. What's the value of c? So a quadratic, any form of quadratic, intersects the line y equals c exactly 1 point at the vertex. So if the line y equals c is the y coordinate of the vertex, then and then only will it intersect the parabola at 1 point. So we have to find the y coordinate of the vertex. So if we want to put y equals negative x squared, what was the full one? Plus 9x minus 100. Plus 9x minus 100 to vertex form. We want to do that. So we have to pull out the negative. So when we pull out the negative, we get x squared minus 9x plus 100. Right. Now you have to split this in 2. So you're going to get negative x minus 4.5 squared. Right. So 4.5 squared is 20.25. or a better thing to do would be to put this in fraction form, because all the answers are in fraction form, so it's better to do that, right? And then plus a constant b. That's what we want to find. So when you expand this, you get you get negative x squared plus 9x. When you expand this part, we're getting this negative x squared plus 9x, right? Minus rather, minus 81 over 4. And then you have the plus b. Now you want negative 81 over 4 plus b to equal negative 100. So I'm going to bring that equation up there and solve. This is the prime equation we need to solve right now. Okay, this is messy. Alright, let me erase some of this work we have going on here. I can erase this diagram. Let me get rid of this. Let me rewrite the equation. Negative 81 over 4 plus b has to equal negative 100. So negative 81 over 4 plus b is equal to negative 400 over 4. So b is equal to negative 319 over 4. Let's see. Let's move on. Number 26. For each real number r, which of the following points lies on the graph of each equation in the xy plane for the given system. So I'm going to call this equation 1. I'm going to call this equation 2. Now, if you noticed, it looks like the coefficients of equation 1 are multiplied by 5 and put into equation 2. And actually, the output is also multiplied by 5. So equation 1 times 5 is just equal to equation 2. Right, so we can pick, so these two lines are the same. They're the exact same line. So we can just pick one line, turn it into slope-intercept form. And when we plug in any of these points, we should get an output of 7. We should have to find out which one. So let's pick the first line. So I'm going to write this in slope-intercept form. So 3y is equal to negative 2x plus 7. Y is equal to negative 2/3 x plus 7 over 3. Right? Now I'm also going to isolate x. So I'm going to say 2x is equal to negative 3y plus 7. X is equal to negative 3/2 y plus 7 over 2. Now, if we look, what answer choice matches that? B matches that. B matches the isolated version of x. We have our y value, r. When we put r in, it's just negative 3/2 r plus 7 over 2. That's what b is. So b is our answer. Alright, number 27. The perimeter of an equilateral triangle is 624 centimeters. Okay. So each side is congruent for an equilateral triangle. And each angle is 60 degrees. So we can label that. That's 60 degrees, that's 60 degrees, that's 60 degrees. So each side length will be 624 over 3, which is 208. So that's 208, that's 208, and that's 208. Right? That's 208. That side. The height of this triangle is k root 3 centimeters, where k is a constant. What's the value of k? Okay, so all we have to do is just split this triangle, right? Because it's an equilateral triangle, the altitude will bisect the opposite side in half. So that side will be 104, and then that side will be 104. not 140, 104. 104. Right, and now we have a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Let me pick a different angle. That angle is 30 degrees now. So 30 degrees, shortest side. Our shortest side is 104. The side facing the 60-degree angle will be the shortest side multiplied by the square root of 3. So that height is 104 root 3. It's in the answer's in the form k root 3. We want k, so k is 104. And are there any more questions? No, that's it. So that's it for Module 1, you guys. If you learned something new, if you took some value out of this, please don't forget to share this with those who find it useful, and don't forget to comment your thoughts and subscribe.